Hey everyone, welcome to another Launchpad ride. I'm leading tonight, so that means that I'm going to be spending more time texting on the companion app than what I am actually concentrating on the recording. So yeah, bear with me, but this is a companion video to the one I did last week where I was a visitor on Darren's Launchpad ride. Tonight I'm going to lead it, so you'll get a better idea of what it's like from the leader's perspective. Okay, just had to make a couple of changes to the interface. Don't know why it does that. OBS just doesn't save your settings. So you have to keep adjusting the game overlay size, unless I'm doing something wrong.
Right on.
Okay, 40 seconds to go. We set off nice and gentle. Nice steady pace. In fact, changing to the little ring. The actual pace for the ride is very easy. 1.0 watt kilogram to begin with, which we'll maintain. Oh, shall I put the fence on? That will stop the yeah, we'll put the fence on. Turn on, there we go. That'll stop everybody getting off the front. Whoops, I better catch them. Oh dear. Here we go. Wait for me! Get up near the front and then we'll drop the pace to 1.0. Okay. Better message them to tell them so. It takes a little while just to get into a rhythm with the pace because 1.0 is, you know, it's at the lower end of what we would normally ride at. So it does take a bit of getting used to when you've come off the back of a couple of harder rides, which I have. But once you settle in, it feels quite good. And I've just noticed my heart rate isn't working. Okay. See if we can fix that for the next ride, the 2-2. Okay. Group settled down now. They've got a small group ahead, which I hope will come back to us. But usually this ride is very well behaved, and we normally all congregate together and blob up. Blob meaning the group all coming together. So you can see I've settled now into a nice 1 watt kilogram pace. Just keep the RPM around about between 64 and 66, and we should stay there. There's no real hills on this course, so it's pretty good for this kind of ride. And what we'll do is after 15 minutes I'll up the pace to 1.5, which gives the riders a chance to get ready for the next ride, which is the True 2 for those that are going to it, of course. Not everybody will be going to it. Okay, let's ask if there's any newcomers. We always make the newcomers welcome. Okay, so welcome Lou. The sound you can hear is the sound of the cobbles. A little bit too loud for my liking, so I think I'm going to have to turn down the volume. Yep. Now the fence in front, the idea of that is I've set it, as you can see, at 10 seconds, and it's supposed to stop riders going off the front, because if they go beyond the red fence you can see ahead, what happens is they get a warning to return to the group, and I think they're given 60 seconds to return to the group. Now if they don't return, then they get removed from the ride. I think they're given 3 warnings and then removed from the ride. So you can see that so far nobody's decided to go off and ride on their own, otherwise we'd be showing removed. However, there are 7 people who have gone beyond the fence. They've obviously returned, as I say, otherwise they'd have been removed. But it's a nice feature. I don't really need it on this ride, although we do have that small group ahead. But on rides like the True 2 coming up, straight after this ride, it's very, very welcome, because we can have more than 200 riders on that particular ride, and trying to control them all can be a nightmare without some kind of well, without the fence basically. So it's nice that Zwift have turned it back on for us and given us the option to use it, which I will do when I leave the True 2. Just switch my fan on. It's a bit hot now. So there's nothing really to this ride other than, you know, you just set a nice gentle pace. Because it's a beginner's ride, or people use it for recovery, either from injury or from harder rides that they've done. And because of that, it's very gentle pace-wise for the majority of seasoned Zwifters. But for newcomers, it's excellent introduction to learning how to draft and how to ride in a group, because drafting does work on Zwift. If you are cycling behind somebody, you're actually saving a fair old amount of energy. If you were to drop off the back of the group, that's why you see the red beacon, because he's one of our resident sweepers who will come and help you out get back to the group. And what he does is he drops to the back, goes and finds you, and then tells you to get on his wheel, and he drags you back to the group. You don't see it in action so much on this ride, because it is such a gentle pace and most people are capable of putting in a bit of effort and getting back. But you certainly see it on the True 2, where we keep a base pace of 2 watt/kilogram, and then we do sprints as well. But more about that 9:15 tonight when we actually do another one. So this ride is just about trying to stay, I'm actually over now, but trying to stay around the 1 watt/kilogram pace for the first 15 minutes, and then we'll up it a bit, but everybody will manage it quite nicely. I mean, nobody's called out for help yet. The green, not the green, the red shield sweeper is with us, not far behind me, so he's not had to really do any work tonight going back and fetching people. The only ones that were possibly likely to have problems were the newcomers, because you can have all kinds of issues. I'm not saying they'd have problems riding the pace, but you can generally have all kinds of issues where you might get a drop out, which means your power stops, and you're basically sat on your trainer and not moving anywhere in game. And depending on how long it lasts for, it can be very difficult to close the gap up if it's more than 30 seconds. But you can see the group has got together quite nicely now. We're looking quite good. In fact, I'd better take a couple of pictures. There we go. So you can see I've just messaged the group and we're increasing the pace to 1.5. I tried to do it gently, but that was a bit of a rise that we went up. You can see from the mini map it's still showing 1%. So sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to stay on the pace you're supposed to go at. Certainly when you're climbing, the temptation is to push against the added resistance. "23 stone and enjoying the pace." Nice. I could do with a bit of extra weight. Yeah, there's a few riders just off the back now, so perhaps I'll just keep it nice and gentle, nice and steady, and allow them to try. And 11 seconds, Mr. Thomas is back, you can see, so 9, so I'll just try and keep it gentle. And Kevin and his friends should basically pull people back to the group. Yeah, and Joe's just making a good point there. Some riders will come on this ride and they find the 1 watt kilogram pace, the 1.5 pace, a little bit too easy, but they come for the social aspect of it, and so they'll jump on a TT bike, which you can choose in game, and the TT bike doesn't allow drafting, and some riders can be caught out by that because you have to work about 1 watt kilogram extra because there's no draft. It makes the ride significantly harder, which is fine if you're wanting a training extra training, but not fine if you're a newcomer and you've chosen the TT bike because you think, oh, that looks cool. You come on a ride and it's much harder than what you imagine, and to stop and change bikes you'd lose the group completely, which is why we've got sweepers, because the sweepers would go back and fetch you, providing you didn't take too long to sweep bikes. You see, Mr. Lou, one of the newcomers, is now being asked by Joe, does he need help? Now he may or may not know how to message in game. He doesn't know how to message, but he must do, because he told me he was a newcomer. So yes, he must know how to message. So all he has to do is say help, and Joel and Kevin Thomas will go back and get him. In fact, I'll just ask them how they're doing. Joe reports all good. That will do me. you see all the orange thumbs up because most of the riders, with it being a new week, whatever, most of the riders have done PR, which is personal best on the lap. Including myself. It's a bit strange doing a PR when you're doing a low level ride like this, but hey, that's the in-game dynamics. And you can see that a couple more riders have now gone through the fence. I don't know whether they're going to come back to us. Use my featherweight power up, even though I'm going downhill. Power-ups are an in-game feature that you get with Zwift. They can be really useful if you're racing or if you're sprinting. You'll see them being used in the True 2 later, but yeah, they can be really useful. But they're part of the game side of Zwift. You don't get power-ups in real life. So a nice group now, nicely formed up, mostly all together, couple off the front, but yeah, nice group, nice riding. I mostly try to send people to our Facebook page where they can find out more information about the different rides that are going on, because we offer rides, not just easy rides like this, but we offer rides all the way up through to A+ racing. So 3R caters for every type of rider on Zwift, and in fact we're probably the team with the highest presence in terms of group rides or races on Zwift. Okay, coming to the end of the ride. Thank everybody again. I love this ride. It's just nice and gentle. We get newcomers coming along, introduce them to Zwift, make them welcome, and hopefully they'll go on to join our other rides and remember what a great time they had in our beginners groups. That's how we all started, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to slow down and stop here because I've got 10 minutes before the next event.